right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us, young brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing this word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. And what I want to get into today, this morning, we're dealing with winning the day, to win the war, win the day to win the war. Okay. Because, we live in a society, that's full of uncertainty. People have so much access to, others people's lives, and, people have been overstimulated, and, the music videos and the movies and this, and so much pressure to be this and that in this world, to where people, are out of touch with appreciating the simple things. And one beautiful thing about the truth, we understand how this thing plays out. You see, people have, so much uncertainty for the future, how things are going to go, so many psyops, and, just so much that's going on at one time. And a lot of people are burnt out, all right? They have anxiety, depression, and all these different things, and they're filled with so much worry, okay, because they don't have the comforter, okay? And one thing within the comforter, it gives us, the peace of mind to just worry about the day. Okay, because when you win the day, you win the war. Focus on the day for day, you see, and having the spirit of appreciation for the Lord's goodness in that day. All right, because we can go on thinking about, because we can, we can spend so much time, thinking about what we don't have, or so much time in the future, speculating, worried about problems that ain't even happened yet, that we take away from winning the day that we're in. And this, I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. I'm speaking directly to me first and foremost. When I say this, emphasize on winning the day. All right, the day that we're in, focus on that. Put the energy into that. Okay, and we got scriptures to go into it, because when you go into, and this is the Living Bible paraphrase, like I said, gift from the beloved elder brother Kazak. All right, so this I'll be reading out of the Living Bible paraphrase, and beginning with the book of Psalms, chapter 34, okay, in verse 9. It says, if you belong to the Lord, reverence him, and that's why it's such a beautiful thing that we've been called back, to be a possession of our power, okay? It said, for everyone who does this has everything he needs. For everyone who does this has everything he needs, man. And our needs are provided for, man. Those that are truly in Yahweh Bashim Shai, man, that walk, all right, after this manner, our needs are provided for, man. Okay? And the things that we do lack, all right, well, we have a body, so everything that we need, all right, is accessible to us in this walk. And we have our daily needs, man. Okay? And so you got to think of things from a daily perspective, man. Do we have enough food to make it through the day? Okay? Do we have enough resources to get what we need done? Do we got efficient transportation to make it through the day? Okay? They say you drink, strong drink or you're young. Well, do you have that sufficient for the day? Okay? Brothers that's, doing these lessons, do we have the ability to do a lesson? Do we have a camera, laptop, or whatever we need? Do we have Wi-Fi, even without Wi-Fi? Can you pull up somewhere with Wi-Fi and upload the video? Doing what we got to do. Do we have our daily needs? Are our daily needs being met? And whatever they might be. And a lot of times when you look at it from a daily perspective, we have abundance. We have more than enough. Okay? Can you eat all the food that you have in one day? So you got more than enough. Okay? You see? You got the resources needed, to, like I said, keep yourself afloat for that day. You got more than enough, man. We have to look from there, and that creates an abundance mindset and the appreciation for what Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is doing real time, because it's easy to think so far ahead, and you think yourself, and, we can think ourselves into anxiety, man, thinking about, things that we want to do, and, we don't have that to do this, and we falling short here and don't have. Well, think about the day. What about the abundance of today? Appreciate that. Focus on winning today. Okay? And it says, verse 10, even strong young lions sometimes go hungry, but those of us who reverence the Lord will never lack any good thing, man. Those that have a true reverence of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai are not going to lack any good thing, man, because a strong lion, okay, no matter how good of a hunter he is, how strong he is, how, fast he is, okay, can go hungry. So a strong young lion, okay, has a better chance of going hungry than those that fear the Lord lacking what they need. Okay, that's why our reverence for our power, is we call it it's essential. Having a reverence for Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is essential, man, within this walk, man. And then we have a reverence. That reverence governs our conduct. Okay, it makes our conduct pleasing to our power, to where He's pleased to provide us our needs, man, our essentials, man, and even a few wants. Okay, but we have to put emphasis on winning the day, getting better today, man. Putting this faith in action today. You see, what I'm saying? This life, is filled with, because Esau has created life as a rat race, to where your energy, your thoughts all belong to him. Okay? But this truth, okay, it forces us to take a portion of ourselves back, man. Because Yahweh Shai said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar. So we have to give this nigga a certain amount of labor and bills, and, but then it says, give the Most High what's the Most High. And we can do that daily, man. And it don't gotta be just a video, man. You can read, you can, you can practice self-restraint daily. Can you go a day without this? Well, you won a day. Do it again tomorrow. You won another day. Okay? You wake up and read, do exercise. Well, guess what? You already start the day out winning. The thing is to win the day, and that's gonna win the war. Because if we're winning the days, that's gonna add up to the victory in the long run. Okay? So that's why you go from here. Let's get this in the book of So when you wake up active, you already winning. A lot of brothers wake up and put something on wax early before they even get into the hustle and bustle of the day. So you start the day off winning. So we create, and that's another thing too. Winners have winning habits. People who achieve a lot, accomplish a lot. Okay, well, they have certain winning habits, man. And it comes from them just winning the day. Waking up early. Okay? Making the best use of the time throughout the day. Okay? So we want to keep winning the day, which is going to win the war. Okay? So let's go here to the book of Matthew chapter 6. Because everything in this world is made to make us worry, because everything is so uncertain. The economy is uncertain. The job is uncertain. Everything is uncertain, man. Okay? So, with Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, when you go to Matthew 6, Because see, the Lord is consistent. See, Esau is so inconsistent. Okay, well, how he runs the earth, he's very inconsistent, man. Okay, but our power, he's consistent. You see, as we consistently serve him, he consistently provides. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 6. This is Matthew 6 and 33. It says, and he will give them to you. All right, I started. Let's go to, what is 20? See what it's on. Started at 32. It says, so don't worry at all about having enough food and clothing. Why be like the heathen? For they take pride in all these things and are deeply concerned about them. But your heavenly Father already knows perfectly well that you, all right, that you need them. So the heavenly Father is aware of our needs, man. Okay? If we're doing what we can, as we, brothers working, brothers, work for the Lord, just a consistent balance. Because as men, you got to do what you got to do as men. But then also we got to fight in this system to make time for you. How about your mouth shy? Sometimes the Lord wants to see us fight for him. The Most High will put us in a situation to see if we're going to fight to serve him. Because it ain't convenient to serve the Lord all the time. And sometimes you got to fight for it. But guess what? That's a win. You have a hectic day, a lot going on, but you still manage to do something for the Lord that day. That's a win. You see, you just won the day. And it's repetitive. You keep winning these days, man. You keep winning these daily battles, and eventually you win the war. Okay, and that's what we want to get in the habit of winning the day, man. And a good tip, work for me. Everybody different. Is getting up early, and go ahead and tap in, man. You see, that's already starting the day off. Okay, putting up that sacrifice. You see, so reading on, and it says, and he will give them to you if you give him first place in your life and live as he wants you to. Okay? And he will give you them if you give him first place in your life and live as he wants you to, man. And I'm a, hey, living witness, man. Serving the Lord has never led me wrong, man. Putting Yahweh Shema Shah first has never put me in a bad predicament, man. Okay? I go through highs and lows, but I've never been out there, man, to where I'm just through. Okay? Provisions are always on deck. All right? It's not even about having a lot. It's about having enough for the day. Okay? Sometimes, like I said, it goes up and down. Everything goes up and down. It's a balance. The Lord puts us through peaks and valleys. And it's going to be a continual process. Okay? And it's in those valleys where we learn, okay, to deal with the peaks, to have the discipline. It's in the valleys, because in the valleys we're forced to be disciplined. So when we do have abundance, we know how to even be disciplined, because what scripture say, how to be a base and be abound. There's a certain type of discipline, even when, the Lord has us abounding. It requires discipline, because the Lord can give us a blessing and we destroy ourselves, man. But it's the valleys where we learn, the character, okay, to not destroy ourselves in the peaks. Okay, and it's the valleys that make us appreciate the peaks. You see? But serving the Lord has never steered me wrong, you know? And speaking as a man on my behalf, man, putting him first has never led me wrong, man. And the number one thing that it has provided is peace. Oh, man, the peace, which is priceless, man. You know? So, reading on, it said, verse 34 says, so don't be anxious about tomorrow. The Most High will take care of your tomorrow too. Live one day at a time. You know, live one day at a time. Win one battle at a time. You know, every day we wake up, it's a battle. You see, and the best way to hit is hit the ground running. Okay? Because it's so easy to get caught up in the rat race of this world to where, you know, you'll lose the day. You know, so just like winning daily battles, you know, wins the war, well, daily losses or lose the war. It's a fight. You know, and like I say, losers have loser habits. You know, losers have loser habits, man. Winners have winning habits, and habits are what? All right, things that are learned through what? Repetition. Okay, things that are learned through repetition, man. So we want to repetitiously fight to win the day, man. And you create these habits. You know, you create these winning habits, man. You know, till it begins like it's a part of us now. You know, and certain, you know, like certain athletes, their regimen is a part of them now. You know, to perform at that elite level, that's normal to them now. But it started with winning the day. All right, every day. So let's read this last one again. It says, so don't be anxious about tomorrow. Because I say you can get too far, you know, into the future, man. You can be in your head. Like I said, I know I had to, you know, really control it, being in my head too much. You know, worried about things that don't even exist. Because just like we can worry about problems that don't even exist in the future, okay? We can overthink and worry about things that haven't even happened yet. There's also blessings that haven't happened yet. You know? So just as these problems that we can conjure up in our head, and, you know, and these things begin to toll on us, well, guess what? There's blessings that haven't happened yet in the future that we don't know about. You know? But Satan wants us to dwell, and the way this system is set up, you know, you're constantly dwelling on things that haven't even happened yet, man. You know, most people just think about bills all day, just think about what if this and what if that, and I'm this old, I haven't did this yet, and whatever. No, man. Okay? Of course, you know, put you a system in to pay bills. Okay? You secure that. Okay? That's part, you know, we talk about being king. Well, the king secures revenue for the castle. Okay? So that's something that we, you know, should handle. And if we do fall short, we got a body. We don't, you know, make the brotherhood the crutches. Okay? But worst case scenario, we have a body. You know, but as men, you know, we should do what need to be done to take care of the castle, man. Okay? But finishing off saying, so don't be anxious about tomorrow. The Most High will take care of you, your tomorrow. All right? Live one day at a time, man. You know, like I said, speaking to myself first and foremost, you know, living one day at a time, making most of the day. You know, that's the thing too, man. Being, you know, being responsible with the time each day, man. You know, being efficient with the time given to us each day, making the best out of it, you know, and that adds up. Okay. If you can save $2 a day, that will add up. I'm just throwing an example, you know. That will add up. At the end of the year, that will add up. Okay. So that's how It is with anything we do. You read a chapter a day. That'll add up. Okay? Praying first thing in the morning. Those prayers add up. Okay? You might learn a Hebrew word, a week. That adds up, man. Okay? So daily we have, the privilege to add to ourselves in this thing, man. We have all the tools needed to add, to win the day, and eventually we're gonna win the war. Okay? So that's something I want to get into, Lord will. You brothers. All right, and you sisters edified once again. We give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.